Because your mom just got fake names off the...
Well, so famously, episode 1,
Yeah,
if you had listened,
I
then you would
listened to like,
know.
the intro a little bit.
Okay, well,
I wanted to like give it as blind and authentic an
Sure.
experience as possible.
I read her the receipts of the first time I ever like asked, really the first and only, it was a learning experience. I never did it ever again after that. Asked the roster at the time variants of Would You Still Love Me If I Was a Worm? And then I read her, the text conversations, and I had her give them all fake names, and she did a really pretty good job.
Okay.
So if you
now
want,
she's fake name queen.
yeah, so I can call Gabby and she can.
I think Frank M's good.
We love Frank M.
We love
Okay,
Frank M.
I'm happy about that.
Me
That's
too.
great.
Yeah.
No, they'll love it. They'll love the people, the Wormianas.
The Wormianas. Wormiana.
I don't know that song.
You don't know Mariana Cross by Ghost? It's a good one.
Okay.
I think someone referred to them as like Satanist Bon Jovi one time.
Oh, okay.
Which was fun. So, yeah, they're a good time. Is this technically the podcast?
Yeah, I mean, I've been recording.
Oh,
but-
okay. Then, yeah.
I don't
Welcome to the pod, everybody.
Okay. No, go ahead. You can intro it. That's fine.
Yeah.
Please, by all means.
I'm not just a friend of the show. I'm taking over.
Well, since you're taking over, why don't you introduce yourself?
Well, hi, I'm Frank M. And I am now the owner of Would You Still Love Me If I Were a Podcast?
No.
No?
Would you still love me if I was a worm?
Is that the name of the podcast?
Yes. Would you still love me if I was a worm? Is the
Okay.
name of the podcast.
But would you still love me if I was a podcast?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. Understandable. This is technically the second date. So
Technically, and also
hypothetically,
just in general.
philosophically.
That fits. That tracks. Well, yes, you heard correctly, Wormianas. I've got a special guest on the pod. This is
So special.
Frank M.
Mhm.
from Hinge. Oh,
Yeah.
maybe I don't have to say that part. Also, we can cut that if you don't want the people to know that we met on Hinge.
Oh no, we're on Hinge.
We're not unhinged, but we are on Hinge.
Ooh.
For those of you who are new to the pod, I'm Sienna Really. Sienna like the minivan, really like the question, and I'm the one true host of this here podcast. Would you still love me if I was a worm?
Deposed.
Yeah. Well,
So soon.
it's only our second
Oh,
date,
my
man.
goodness.
Give me a
That's
break.
like your 9th podcast episode.
This will be the 11th, actually.
Let's go.
You are the fakest fake fan.
The 9 and the 11th. Look at that. How's that all work out?
I'm going to see Green Day on 9/11,
Excellent.
by the way.
I love it when they say fuck George Bush.
I love it when they say fuck George Bush. I love it when they say no Trump, no KKK, no fascist
That's
USA.
pretty great.
It really gets me going. Frank M., why don't you, as much as you would like to, tell us about yourself. Who are you? What's your deal?
Man. How to do this tactfully without... I'm sure anyone that's heard this that knows me by now is like, yeah, that's Frank.
You're going to send this to all your friends?
We'll see.
Send it to your parents?
Send it to my mom and my dad and be like, so I'm dating again. My father doesn't know that I'm polyamorous. So that's fun.
That's a good juicy nugget for the listeners, too.
Yeah, no, it's...
What if I was like, you're what?
Sorry, what? Sorry, hello? No, that would be quite funny, where it's just like, I've completely and clandestinely lied to you this whole time.
Yeah, thank God it's only our second date.
Thank God it's only our second date. No, but that would be a trip, honestly.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah, I'm very tall.
That's true.
Been getting into pottery lately.
Uh-huh.
Haven't been able to do too much of it because, God, it's an expensive hobby. You'd think for being like the world's oldest like art form, it would be cheap, but no. You can't dredge up clay anywhere.
Would you say that pottery is the world's oldest art form?
It's definitely one of the first like demarcators of culture. Yeah.
What is your relationship status?
Oh, I really don't know where to call it right now. It's a bit of a mess.
It's complicated.
It's definitely in its complicated situation. It's something where I am not partnered, but tethered with someone right now, where we're trying to work through some things. And it's really been quite difficult, kind of de-escalating our situation at present. And so I was already back on dating apps because we're not monogamous, right? We're practicers of ethical non-monogamy, kitchen table style for those in the know. But so we were de-escalated basically and are like working on some things to fix up our relationship outside of the pressures of being in it and like being in like the the possible triggers there. There's not a lot of like blame on either side. It's mostly just like, I have attachment issues. I'm very anxiously attached in some ways. It's not horrible, but it's enough.
Anxiously attached gang, rise up.
Gang. We just kind of realized we were running into the same wall, and we're like, we got to fix this up. So I would say unpartnered but tethered, and trying to figure out what's going on with the rest of my dating life.
Word.
Yeah.
I think that's
very personal jumping.
right off the bat. No, but I think it's really refreshing for me to hear about two people in a relationship, like trying to fix and improve the relationship while not being in it.
Yeah, it's very much
it seems really like productive.
It's very Ross and Michelle were on a break, but it's much like healthier, I think.
Ross and Michelle?
Friends.
Rachel, you think?
Is it Rachel?
Yeah.
You think I know anything about that show?
I don't know. You're a white guy.
The only thing, oh, damn. The only thing I know about that show is that David Schwimmer was really good in Band of Brothers. So that's how much I know. It's that, and it's we're on a break. And that's it. Yeah, it's kind of a weird new situation.
Yeah.
Circling back.
I will say you were very candid about this too on our first date, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
This is not like news to me.
No, this would be wild to spring it on your podcast to you, the consummate, undeniable, one above all podcast host.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I was like, I want you to know exactly where I'm at right now, because it's a weird place. And if you don't understand, that's chill. So. Yeah.
Was there, now I'm just curious, and this is more just for me than for
the pod.
Well, this is entirely for me, actually.
For the Wormianas.
Correct.
See?
You're learning.
Gradual fandom. That's how it works.
Was there like were you at all, I don't want to say like scared, but like, did it even cross your mind that I would maybe just be like, this is too much for me, I'm not interested in this anymore?
I mean, it crossed my mind, but I don't think I was fearful of it.
Sure.
I think that being like fearful of rejection, like it's definitely something where I'm like, a lot of the time, but that's more like
that's going to sound great.
Yeah. That's the actual like going and asking someone out part, or like getting ghosted or anything like that. But when I'm like, hey, here's this thing I have going on, whether it's like, me being pan or me being polyamorous or just like any reason for someone to like hit a filter, basically, that's whatever to me. You know, that's something where I'm like, I get that, right? Like, I understand that. This guy's got a lot going on. Maybe I'm looking for something easier.
Word. You can take an L.
Yeah, I can take a small L, not a capital.
A lowercase
Not
L.
a capital L. No. Same wavelength.
Word.
Yeah, it's something where like if I was to go out on a limb and be like, there's a very attractive person that I like have seen around somewhere, and I was like, hey, I think you're really cool. Do you want to like hang out or something? And they were just like, get the fuck away from me. I'd be like, oh, devastated. Yeah, just devastated. Whoa. Right? Jinx. Like, we're on one. We are under a roof, so I will need you to take like a Coke sometime.
Excuse me?
That's how that works. You owe me a soda.
We're under a roof?
We're under a roof.
What if we were outside?
Then we're fine. Count? Yeah, we're fine. But we're not under a roof.
So, but I called Jinx, so you owe me a Coke?
Yeah.
Because we're under a roof.
Under a roof.
Okay.
I reverted it. Switched it around.
I'm learning.
Well, it's probably more likely that you forgot.
I guess I know the rules of Jinx.
The sacred laws passed down.
No, I get that you said you used the word filter, and I
mean, that's kind of what it is.
Very much relate to that. Yeah, as like a queer and genderqueer person, myself, I very much get that.
Yeah, people love to be like, wait, you fuck guys? And I'm like, not often, but yeah. They're scary, but yeah.
Are they scary? Yeah, no, that's true.
No,
men are scary. I guess I'm surprised that men are scary to other men, too.
Yeah, to me, who's like a giant, and I'm just like, God, I hate this.
Yeah. No, it's
for me, it's less relatable. Of like a threat of physical violence or like action, and more so just like
icky behavior.
Yeah. No, guys, like dating like femme-presenting people, AFAB people, non-binary people across the spectrum. I feel like they're a little more informed. Trying to date cis gay men sometimes, I'm like, this is a lot of work. They're a lot sometimes. Because I feel like, especially Dallas is very cruisy.
Sure. Yeah.
Very much like folks trying to get their rocks off a lot of the time. And, it's all right. But it's just like, I say hi and they're like, here's a picture of my dick and balls from the back. And I'm like, whoa, slow it down, champ. We haven't even gotten to like kissing yet.
Yeah. And you may never.
We may never.
They may not even want
the
that.
Dick and balls from the back. You have to be a prime specimen.
Are you familiar though with the meme, with the source material meme of "Would you still love me if I was a worm"?
I am.
Okay.
Yes. The answer is unilaterally yes to most people.
Sure.
There's a few where I'm like, well, I don't love you as a person.
Right.
So no.
Right.
Right.
Famously, no, I did say on at least one episode that anybody that I love as a human, I would probably also love as a worm. Although you should listen to my sister's episode of this podcast, because she took like a horror movie perspective of it and was like, well, but what if it was the fly, but the worm? And so you're a big, gross worm and it takes a long time to transform.
And you don't even get like, do you at least get to like look like Jeff Goldblum for a little?
Yeah,
like a little. Like
that's the transition. You become Jeff Goldblum and then you become a giant worm.
It might be worth it, honestly. He's so fucking hot in that movie for no reason.
Yeah, like a lot.
Prime Jeff Goldblum was like, damn, all right, man.
Jurassic Park, Jeff Goldblum, The Fly, Jeff Goldblum. Yeah.
Well, he's like hypersexual in that movie too.
Yes.
Which it's just a crazy film.
Spot on for a fly, I think.
Yes, I watched that film on Laserdisc.
Oh, on Laserdisc.
Do you know what a Laserdisc is?
Don't insult me in my own
listen,
home.
I'm sorry. We're getting to know each other. I'm asking innocuous questions.
I know what a Laserdisc is.
Well,
yeah.
Some people don't. Some people are like, what do you mean the Betamax was discontinued because VHS could record a whole basketball game?
Is that really why?
Yes.
See, that's news to me.
Well, there we go. See, this is what happens when you ask innocuous questions. You get blown up by the podcast host with their blow up guest button. Please no.
I would never. I wouldn't dream of it. So I do have some questions for you.
Okay.
Some fan submitted questions.
Fan submitted?
No, some of them are from me, but and I'm a fan.
That's true. Are you a fan of the pod or a fan of me? It remains to be seen.
We'll discover that together. Depends on how you answer these questions.
I see.
No, just kidding. No,
wait. So were the fans informed that it was a Hinge date?
No. So I did contact some of my actual close friends and said, "Hey, this is what's happening.
I'm getting this guy into my house."
Yeah, I was a little bit. I got a little bit in my head about it earlier today.
Understandable. I mean, it's like we just met, and I'm in your bedroom.
Yeah,
we're recording a podcast together.
Yeah,
it's a lot of entanglement
all at once. And again, I always get nervous when I record the podcast.
Yeah.
I've had like my best friends on this podcast, my sister, my mom. I get nervous every time.
And then
I've done some solo episodes too. Yeah, and then some man from Hinge.
Ta-da.
Frank M.
Frank M.
Do we tell them that that's a fake name?
I think we do.
I think we have to, right? I don't want them to go looking for some guy named Frank M.
It'd be really funny though.
That would be fun.
It would be fun.
This real life man named Frank catching strays.
Yeah. He just like matches all the descriptors too, and he sounds exactly like me.
Tall, deep voice.
Yeah.
White man named Frank.
Whoa.
I said it earlier.
I never said white.
No, but I did earlier when we were talking about friends. And you didn't argue.
It's a soft white passing, right? My old man's brown.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Who among us does not have one white parent and one less white parent? Some of these questions are fan submitted by me. Some of them are fan submitted by some of my friends. I think you may be able to guess which ones are which.
Okay.
You may not. I don't know. Like you said, we just met. This first question, and this is a direct quote, so not from me. Spoiler alert.
Whoa.
Why did you agree to be on my podcast, which will eventually be stored in the Library of Congress for perpetuity?
Man, I thought it was a great bit, honestly. I mean, I was like, okay. So
were you kind of calling my bluff a little bit when I asked if you would be on my podcast?
There was like a small element of that, but also the fact that we had talked for 3 hours, like unceasingly. I was very much like, yeah, we could podcast. We basically hit a whole podcast and a half at this point.
Is that like unusual?
No, but it's refreshing, right? Because like sometimes you hit a little coffee date and you're like, it's been an hour. Yoink! Like, get me out of here. Sometimes people that you talk to online, they like are really good at like texting.
Sure.
And then you meet them in person and you're like, oh, this does not translate at all.
Right.
And those are the ones where like, I have definitely asked my brother to call me in 5 minutes sometimes.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Devastating.
Yeah. And it's like, hey, I've really got to take this call and it might be a while situation. Because then I'll just call and talk to my brother about how bad the date was. So there's some deception involved,
I think that's okay. Protect your peace, King.
Yeah. I think it's innocuous enough to where, one, it's not like specifically a lie, but it's also just like...
It's kind of like ghosting ahead of time.
I prefer to think of it as using an escape rope like Pokemon, but
okay. And that is you're right. That is your prerogative.
So I jumped on because I was like, well, we have good rapport and we're talking well, and it's there's not anything jumping out where I'm like, this person's going to tie me to a medical table and dissect me.
There's still time.
I mean, if there's more room in this 1-bedroom apartment, I'd like to thank the architect.
There's the laundry room.
Oh, shit.
There.
Oh, no.
It's the junk drawer room also. It's full of all the stuff that I wanted to hide from you.
all the teeth.
Yeah, all the human teeth.
All the human teeth.
So, okay, we've
not worried about the Library of Congress.
Oh, right. Okay.
Not worried about that. That'll be fine.
Or perpetuity in general.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay.
One day Spotify will die. And then maybe Apple Music will buy up their share of the market.
Well, this is cross-platform.
Yeah.
Okay.
Available where all podcasts are streamed.
Most podcasts are streamed, I would say. I'm on the big ones. I'm on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and iHeartRadio, which I think is kind of the outlier.
They're based in Dallas. I've tried to work for them a few times. Applied for jobs and whatnot. Nice. Never got an interview.
Oh, damn. You could have been on the Kid Craddock in the Morning Show.
Could have been something.
You could have been a contender. So we've mentioned that this is our second date, but be honest with me.
That's been like 3 times we've been wavelengthing. Or is this a separate question?
This is a separate question.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, no, but what were you going to say?
I was saying that you were going
to say something
we've
nice.
hit
Please.
like the simultaneous, devastating. Could have been something. Could have been a contender. Right. So it seems that our styles of speaking and media information are fairly similar, but
yeah, we were definitely on the same YouTube channels at the same time growing up, I think.
Probably.
No, but will you be honest with me? Is this a date or is this a networking opportunity? The fact that you're anonymous on the pod kind of leads me to believe it's not the latter.
No. If I was trying to be a clout goblin for the Would You Still Love Me If I Was a Worm podcast, I can't get the name right now, but I've been informed.
Let the record show you were informed.
Beforehand, yes, but then I forgot. And
that's so fine. That's so fair.
And I've got my recency going, and now I'm nailing it. I'm going to be impressive, but after a while I might fall off again. So it could get worse is all I'm saying. But no, I'd say that this is a date. I'm having a time here, a good one.
Okay, thank God.
Yeah, I had to make sure.
If you had left it, I'm having a time.
No,
here.
See, yeah,
I would
a good time.
leave.
You would leave and leave me in the apartment. You just give me the keys to the apartment at this point.
They're hanging up. They're by the door.
Oh, excellent. Okay, perfect. Now, if I was trying to network, I don't know. I despise networking. I hate it so much. I love showing up to work, doing my job, and leaving. That's my favorite shit. Even for the other stuff I do that we've talked about that I don't feel comfortable talking about.
Yeah, and that's fine. You're way too high profile in real life to divulge even a little bit of that information.
Niche
on the pod.
internet micro person to be aware of. I know. Not even micro celebrity.
I don't know. I might beg to diff.
I don't have a following. I deleted everything. I killed it all.
That's true.
I think I peaked at 4,000 followers on my largest platform, and I was like, nice. Later.
Nice. That is nice.
Feels good. Big fan of being off the grid. Old Frank M.
Old Frank M. Not old, for the record.
OL.
Unless, I don't know.
Familiar?
I don't know. Sure. Like Santa, like jolly
old Saint Nick.
Right.
Except he's ancient and horrifying in some ways.
Is he? How old is Santa?
if we trace it back to like his actual roots,
I'm over it. I regret
like
asking this question.
A 14th to 13th century like Turkish bishop.
Are you any good at bar trivia?
Sometimes I'm a hitter. Sometimes I'm on that shit. And sometimes they'll hit me with a category where they're like, off of Taylor Swift's like third album, what track alluded to this guy? And I'm just like, all right, pack it in. We gotta.
Taylor Swift is not your category.
Well, she's not. And then like sometimes they just hit me with something, and I'm like, damn, I don't know. I don't know nothing.
This is from a friend. Do you have any siblings?
I have one. And he is.
And I knew that.
You did know that because we've talked about
that.
I'm the youngest of two, and I have an older brother, and he is so cool. I sent him the shirt of the thing. I got a shirt recently that I was very happy with.
Nice.
Big Top Burger, if you watch YouTube at all, for worthy kids.
I do. That is not a familiar ref.
Okay, well, we might have to pull it up later because this is foundationally important media.
Right. That is famously what you do on a second date is you go back to someone's place and then watch YouTube videos.
Yeah, we're going to watch like 30 to 40 minutes of things about clowns making burgers. So
okay.
You will understand.
30 to 40 minutes seems like a tall order.
That's like a TV episode.
Yeah, but broken up like that makes it feel like a lot.
But it's all on like one YouTube video because they made a compilation instead of us having to sit through multiple ads. Anyway, my brother's cool as hell. Probably one of the smartest people I know. Just like innately able to grasp like most concepts just by like self-teaching. Very emotionally gifted, like very just like thoughtful person.
I love that. My younger sister, my only sister, is the coolest and funniest person that I know. And I've always said that.
Hell yeah.
She's only just gotten, the older she's gotten and the more like comfortable with herself.
What's the age gap for you two?
5 years.
5 years. Okay. My brother and I are 2.5.
Oh, so pretty close. Yeah. We're really close for our age. We always have been.
What was it like getting to experience all of high school without your sibling chasing after you?
Weird.
Yeah.
Like I wanted her to be there.
Damn. So you guys have been like good your whole life.
Pretty much.
Like there was no like.
And I don't know if this like really makes a difference, but she is trans. And so like,
fuck yeah, cool.
I did not grow up like knowing that I had a sister, you know what I mean? And so that dynamic like has changed a little bit now that we're both older and we like refer to each other as sisters. But yeah, we've always been close. We've always been cool. And my friends have always really liked her and thought that she was like funny and cool as hell.
I love that.
For a 5 years younger person.
That is like, so rare. God. Like that is actually a gift.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure when we were like little, there was definitely a period of time where I was like, I'm trying to play with my friends. Go away.
Get away.
But no, we've always been cool. Yeah. So I always appreciate a good sibling relation.
There was a period of time in high school where my brother and I could not stand each other.
Do you remember which period of time? Like
it
your
was
freshman year?
No, there was just this period where like we did not get along in any way. And it was like, it was never to the point where like, I hate your guts, man. Never talk to me. Don't, it was always like, we interacted with each other, but we just rubbed each other the wrong way for a long time, like all through high school. It's like I was like a year behind him because I skipped some grades.
Wow, Brad!
Wow, didn't do anything for me. Still down here with everybody else. Yeah, so I was like a year behind him, and it always was like one of those things where I felt like I was kind of in a shadow.
Oh, word! Yeah, I'm sure
there was some frustrating stuff there, but he went off to college, and I was like, oh, I'm my own person. I miss my brother.
Yeah. Someone asked if we could talk about our first impressions / why did we swipe? And Hinge is not really a swipey app, but like you get the idea.
Button,
yeah. Like
did my little deep examination of the profile, which I haven't looked at your profile in a bit because we switched to texting because I hate the app.
I do too, and also I think it's really embarrassing to be on Hinge, talking on Hinge, like, hey, where are you? I'm here.
Yeah, my favorite part of it is when it's like, did you and Sienna meet? And I'm like, please really leave me alone.
Why do they want to know? I know why they want to know.
Yeah. It's for their research purposes to make sure they're being an effective application. But I think mostly I was just like, okay, cute person. They seem artsy.
Thank you.
They're queer, so they have similar like life experiences. Sure. And I was just like, yeah, hell yeah. Sure. Shoot my shot. Give it a go.
And you shot a really great shot because you did start with the Midwest emo prompt.
It's important.
With the Hot Molly reference.
It's important.
Right off the bat.
Yeah, we love Hot Mulligan.
That was a great first impression.
Well, yeah, because the new video was really gay and it was awesome.
And I still haven't seen it, so we'll add that to the list for later.
More YouTube to watch. Look at us go.
But then, I was like, wait, this is a cute guy. So I think in order of what I looked at, I'll be candid. I'll be honest.
Yeah, whip it out.
So saw the message, obviously your opening line, your opening shot, and was like, okay, that's good. First picture, great, good picture.
I love that photo.
Click on the pro.
That might actually be my favorite photo of me ever taken.
It's a good. Wait, which one are you talking about though?
The one where I'm cross-legged on the ground.
Yeah, that's a cute one.
My hands.
Yeah.
Because I talk with my hands.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you know, like what's working for you.
Yeah. I know when cunt is being served.
And by golly, you were serving.
By golly.
But then I immediately go to like the basic information part: age, height.
Yeah.
Just because I like to know, not because it like is a deal breaker.
Yeah.
I'll date a short king.
Yeah, we love a
tall queen.
Love a short king.
Whatever.
Love a tall queen.
Love a tall
Rare
queen.
sight on the tall queen.
Some would call me a tall queen, but now I'm like,
You're
I'm not fucking 6'3".
5'11"?
5'10".
5'10"?
Yeah.
My mom's 5'10". My dad's 6'4", and then I'm 6'7".
Wow.
So
your mom and I have one thing in common.
there you go. So we were talking about how you were checking.
Oh yeah.
You're checking out my stats.
The stats.
Yeah, my sabermetrics.
In this order, this is
dating.
what I always look at. First picture, age, height. Do you drink? Do you smoke cigarettes? And then the rest of it, I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look at the other pictures, and then I read all the prompts.
Okay.
And listen to the voice. The
visual
voice
learner,
too.
yeah.
Well, yeah. On an app.
Yeah.
Here's another question from a friend. How do you think a worm superhero would fit into the Marvel Cinematic Universe? And don't just say they would team up with Ant-Man because that's wormist and antist.
That's fair. I really appreciate you calling out anti-ant sentiment, anti-worm sentiment as well. Of course, we want to make sure that everyone feels as though they are finding their place without falling to stereotypes.
Exactly. You get it. And thank you for being so sensitive to that, because that is a really... I have a responsibility as someone with a platform.
Yeah. It's a pervasive problem in media today, is this anti-worm bias that we're seeing, especially as it's been rising in recent years. I feel like they have a worm-based superhero already.
Like a Marvel superhero?
Maybe. Like a mutant? I feel like there's got to be.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, maybe a mutant. Maybe an X-Man.
I'm going to be my own Jamie, and I'm going to pull that shit up. I don't actually watch Joe Rogan. I just know that he loves to say, hey, Jamie, pull that shit up. There is a guy who's just called Worm, and he's a Savage Land mutate, but he's also 9'4" and 740 pounds.
That's kind of hot.
But he does resemble a cross between an earthworm and a human being. So it seems we don't have to make that room because the good folks at Marvel have already made it.
They already. Shout out.
And here I am, so glad to see. They have the inclusivity and the mindfulness to make a worm not something small, but something beautiful and 9'4"
and huge,
and massive.
Yeah, I hope you're happy, Catherine. I hope that pleases you.
That one's for you, Catherine.
Okay, this is a two-parter. Do you believe in love, and do you believe in love at first sight?
I believe that love exists. I think that the people that make it so reductive as to call it just a chemical reaction.
Yeah.
I think that there is like the philosophical question of like, is this something that we have ascribed value to in order to like maintain social cohesiveness? And like, is this such a cornerstone of so many philosophies because it is the feeling that is like pushes us towards our like genetic need to procreate and multiply? And I think it's so much more than that, because like if we can by any means move past like the way we are still animals in many ways, is it not then possible for love to exist outside of that context? Right? I love many things. I love many people. I love many places. I love like in different ways. Right? So I think that narrowing love to just like some abstraction of philosophical thought is really narrowing. I said narrowing like twice, but yeah,
that's fine.
I think love exists. It's real. Do I think love at first sight exists? Maybe.
Yeah.
I think that there are a lot of markers that people have looked for unconsciously or consciously And I think that in seeing someone, they can have the feeling of love at first sight. I think it's very rare for that to be a mutual situation.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I think
I don't disagree or agree.
Yeah, I think navigating that is difficult too, because like what do you do if it's lopsided at all?
Sure.
Right. Because then is it love at first sight or is it infatuation?
Right. Is it really love? And that's kind of where I'm at with the love at first sight thing, because the Wormianas will know I do very much believe in love. I talk about love all the time on this podcast, like the different kinds of love and how like love is not just a feeling, in my opinion, my philosophy, that it's not just a thing that you feel, but it's like you have to choose to love someone, to show someone love, like yourself, other people, romantically, not romantically, whatever. So for sure, I believe in love. I think love at first sight is not real, but I do think that there are things that you can feel that you can maybe convince yourself is love.
Yeah.
And I know that I will speak to my own experience. I'll be vulnerable. On the pod on our second date.
Be a little. I mean, we've done some keen sharing.
Yeah.
So I think it's only fair.
I have twice in my life felt this wild feeling that the first time it ever happened, it was completely unfamiliar to me. And I was aware in the moment that I was like, whoa, I am experiencing something and feeling something that I have never felt before. Yeah. And it was, I saw this person that I did not know. Yeah, I like this person entered my field of vision, and somehow I like immediately knew who this person was, because I had been hearing from my friend like, oh, you got to meet this person. Did not know who they were, but saw this person and went, oh, this has got to be the person my buddy was telling me about. And furthermore, this like overwhelming feeling of like, this person is important to me.
Oh.
That's the best way I can describe it. Yeah. That this like automatic recognition of like, this person is important to me.
Are they still important to you?
No. And that's fine. They were for a very long time.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
That is fine. I think that there is too much too much import for things to last long to be considered successful.
Or last forever to be considered successful. That's a thing that I've learned in the last like few years. Yeah. Ending a super long-term relationship. Yeah.
It's hard.
It is. It's very scary. And part of it is like for no reason, but like shameful. We failed.
We failed, guys. We didn't make it work.
It's embarrassing. Yeah.
It's a little embarrassing.
But it's not. It shouldn't be. And I'm not ashamed or embarrassed anymore.
You said there were 2 instances.
Yeah. And the second time, again, this
rush.
Yeah. And not just like attraction or like a crush or
just
whatever.
Just this like cosmic feeling of like importance.
And in that moment, I recognized it. Yeah. I was like, oh, I've felt this before.
You're like, I know this feeling. This funny feeling.
It was very strange.
I call that being struck by somebody.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So like I have this very like it's almost like a Victorian sense of romance, like very Oscar Wilde-ish era, where it's just like pining and yearning and like, oh, the heart, right? All this shit. But yeah, when I think that very similar experience, like that's something I experienced with this partner that I'm de-escalating with, was just like we like met for the first time, and I was just like, oh, this is someone that's got to stick around.
Yeah.
Right. Like one way or another. I think that is the feeling of love at first sight, but it is misattributed because of this like massive societal focus on romance and partnership.
Word.
Yeah, where like there is just this like.
Would you like to join me on the bed?
Get cozy on the bed.
You don't have to, but I'm just offering another option.
Could.
Yeah, here I'll.
So I can have my
yeah, and like then you can bail if you.
No, I'll be.
I don't want to trap you.
Just get me stuck on the bed with you.
Yeah.
Okay. We're posted up now, folks. We're like right next to each other.
We're cozy.
There might be some audio crossover, unless they're good at filtering that out.
Probably not.
Oh,
I can't imagine.
We'll figure it out. You've got a very like upright stance at present. Like you're basically sitting.
I can.
No, you don't have to.
No. I will.
Okay.
I'll join you.
You'll join me
horizontally.
The lie down.
Yeah.
Okay. So I got my arms crossed like I'm a patient on one of those chaise lounges.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
that's what this is now.
We're doing
sponsored by BetterHelp.
Sponsored by BetterHelp.
You see what I mean?
We finally did it. No, but yeah, I think the feeling of love at first sight is often misattributed to romantic like infatuation. I think it's very easy to be infatuated by those people because of that feeling of importance.
Sure.
Because of that like deep desire to like know them in every way, to like indelibly put your fingerprints in their life. And a lot of people only get that connection through romance. I feel like
yeah.
I feel like there is such a lack of community in the modern day where like,
oh my God.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
We could talk about third places. We can talk about like how people kind of fall apart from this like broader sense of neighborliness because the atomization of culture is insane these days. We could save that for like a more focused podcast.
We'll save that for at least our third date. I think.
Then we can talk about how we need to fix America. Yeah.
If you choose to go on any more dates with me in the future, they're all going to be podcast recordings.
I'm down. We just do nothing else.
That would be crazy.
It'd be kind of kooky.
It would be so silly.
So quirky.
And that's not what I'm trying to do.
Understandable.
No, I like want to hang out. I don't just want to hang out and record.
I thought you were using me solely for my voice.
For the content?
For my voice.
You do have a great voice.
I mean, I work with it, yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
That was another like posy first impression.
First impression.
I do. Okay, so I have one more,
question.
Topic question.
Okay.
Yeah. One more question.
Just say quest.
No, question. Because you don't say question. You say question.
I have to get my questions. The tomatoes.
So the silly version of this question is, how soon is too soon for me to ask, would you still love me if I was a worm? Because, and I've asked on the podcast Instagram, I've asked the followers, quiz time, should I put the question, would you still love me if I was a worm, like on my dating app profile? Should I introduce that question when I start like talking to somebody, texting, whatever? Should I bring it up on the first date? Should I save it for marriage? Like, what's the right time? The right time or the wrong time? For me
specifically. Like, if we're in this instant, is it too early? Is that what you're saying? Or is it...
I feel like that...
Is it simply like, when is the point where you should ask that?
That feels really pointed if we narrow it down to like me and you. I feel like I'll get my feelings hurt. So let's speak generally.
It's only the second date.
Let's speak generally.
Generally speaking...
The right time or the wrong time to ask a person that you're becoming entangled with.
I think as soon as you've got the clearance of like an I love you.
You think you really have to wait for the literal love to bring up the would you still love me?
Doesn't the initial phrasing of the clause implies that like the love is pre-existing?
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
So like you could do it in like a mimetic fashion where it's like, hey babe, would you still love me if I was a worm?
Right.
And they're like, yeah. You know?
Duh.
But then it like begs the question, oh, so you love me? Or does it not?
I don't think it has to.
I think it can.
I think it's enough of a meme that it can stand on its own.
I think a lot of people like I would definitely be like, oh, so does that mean you love me? And then we have a real conversation.
Yeah.
Right. Because I love hitting an I love you. Right. It's something I'm a fan of.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. I love saying I love you. It's I think it should be said to everyone at the end of a conversation if it's true.
I don't disagree with you. I also love expressing love to the people that I love.
It's important.
Yeah. So I guess then I shouldn't ask you the question that I started asking at the end of every podcast.
So what you're saying is that you wouldn't ask if I would love you if you were a worm.
Well, now I'm scared to.
Well, why are you scared? Is it rejection?
Yeah.
I mean, is it really rejection if it's me saying that, like, you being transfigured into a worm would irrevocably alter the trajectory of how this proceeds? That learning to love you and your worm self would be a different experience to learning to love you as you are now. That both of us would perhaps have to understand something deeper about ourselves. That we'd have to learn and grow. Like what an actual interabled relationship would look like. Mm-hmm. Not only with you as a sentient worm, which, you know, would have to be...
Well, first of all, we would hope I would be sentient. We assume. I mean, we would hope.
Yeah, there would have to be a means for us to figure out how to communicate. There would have to be so much. There's so many things we don't know about
the worm community.
Sienna. It would be such a strange learning experience. Could I love you if you were a worm? Who's to say?
Who is to say? I think we all have the capacity to love anything.
Yeah.
You know, especially a sentient creature.
Especially a worm.
Well, sure.
I think that
why not a worm? You know,
if you can love a worm, you can love anything.
You think that's the baseline?
I think that it would indicate like a deeper understanding of what it means to like experience and extend love to things outside of ourselves.
And it starts with the humble worm.
Well, it's kind of like how are they Jainists? I believe it's a fairly small religious sect, but they will like sweep in front of them when they walk just to make sure they don't kill any bugs.
Oh,
yeah, they're just like, all right, guys, get out the way. You know, it's very thoughtful. They and very intentionally do not kill anything. I think it's the Jainists. I'm trying to remember. So it's that I think is a form of loving the worms, is it not?
I would say so.
Yeah. To love something so small that gives like so little.
Yeah, for sure. And that definitely like aligns with, you know, what I was saying before about like love being a choice, and you have to it's a conscious effort, you know. Oh. Okay, well,
I could love a worm.
Would you I'll be brave.
Yeah.
Would you love me if I was a worm?
I think we could get there.
Yes.
Fucking locked in.
If you said no, that would be okay. I can take an L.
Yeah.
That'd be a pretty big L to take on my own podcast, I think I would be okay. I was prepared for you to say no.
I just think it would be such a journey, right?
If like somehow post second date I become a worm and then we keep dating.
Yeah, if you like figure out how to like tap your phone with your entire body. Is it too slimy to register on the touchscreen?
I haven't touched an earthworm in a while, so I don't.
Would you inch and squinch like the fucking 30 miles from your place to mine, tap and Morse code on my window?
I would call an Uber, but yeah.
There's so many presumptions I'm making. All I'm saying is, if you were a worm, would you still love me?
I think I could.
There we go.
I almost think that it would be just for me.
Yeah.
Thanks. This is nice. For the audio listeners, we're holding hands for the first time.
Yeah. I didn't even do my favorite bit.
What's your favorite bit?
You're on like a protracted date with someone and you're walking somewhere. You check your pockets. You go like, oh, one sec. Can you hold this for me really quick? And you extend your empty hand.
That's cute. That's a good move.
It's I don't think I have pickup lines. I just have little patterns in the middle of the date.
I like that. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Well, speaking of being in the middle of the date, that's
this
kind
is
of
the middle.
Well, I don't know. Nice.
Yeah, get fucking got, dude. I'm going home.
No. Yeah, no, okay. Well,
I'm not.
It's been fun. It's been real.
You still owe me dinner.
I do. I said, yeah. Okay, great. But also, like, it's a school night, you know, if you had to go, that'd be fine.
My mom's calling me.
It's curfew. Oh, shit. It's almost 9 o'clock.
Oh, fuck, man.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so normally I do ask people if they have any final thoughts.
Any pluggables.
And yeah, anything to plug.
Final thoughts. This was fun. I would definitely be an anonymous podcaster again.
Okay. Well, we'll see where this goes.
Yeah. Pluggables, leave me alone.
Word.
Yeah. Let me be your strange Hinge guest fantasy podcast listener.
Oh, yeah.
You too may find me out there in the wild wastes.
Everybody leave Frank M alone.
Leave me alone.
Do not follow him on
Leave me alone.
But what you can do is you can follow me. I'm on @wormpod on Instagram. You can follow my personal Instagram if you want to. I'm sure you can find it. Sienna like the minivan, really like the question. It's spelled exactly how it sounds. What? Well, what do you mean?
Is it spelled different? It's like R.
Oh, my actual last name, yeah.
Oh,
but on the social feed, it is
good.
@Sienna Really.
Gotcha.
But the important one is the @wormpod, because then you can get updates of when I'm posting. I'll post some. I'll show you. I already have some spoilers picked out for this episode. Yeah, I usually post like once I've recorded or once I start editing, like this is what's coming next. Mm-hmm. But I don't post the title and I don't post the guest.
That's crazy.
It's pretty cute. You should get on Instagram.
All right. Well, thank you, I guess.
All right.
You can have your show back.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have a farewell?
My.